Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Michael Talks Football channel. Today, it's not going to be a long stream. We're only going to be here for about 45, 50 minutes because it is international break. And I mean, what madness is going on in Europe and Africa when it comes to Euro qualifiers and AFCON qualifiers? I mean, just today, we have seen Moldova doing absolute madness. We have seen Luxembourg doing absolute madness. And if you want to talk about friendlies, Germany and Brazil are losing. You know who didn't lose? Love it. I love international break, and I hope you guys do as well. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button on your way in. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And if your national team did play, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you mad? Are you disappointed? I see a lot of anger on Twitter. I see some anger already in the chat. Let's keep it very peaceful here, people. Remember that. We're not doing any vulgar language here. But my God, there is some talking points that we need to have tonight. There is some talking points we need to have. Because certain nations they're going bad. They're going bad. The state of international football is like this. We don't know where it's going. We have like favorites for Euros, and then AFCON we don't know who's going to win because there's always just a madness there. I love it. I love international football. The storylines that we get from it is the best. And now everybody, let me big up to everybody in the chat. Let's get it to 20 likes already. Come on, people. Share the stream. Do all that good stuff. Big up to Mount Boras. Oi Suomi ihana. Big up Michael Brown. Moldovan football. How are you doing? I thought I would never see the day where a Moldovan would say, "Where is Lewandowski?" Nah, football has gone madness. Football has gone madness. Big up to Massey saying already get flick out. Big up to Matt, how you doing? Big up to Sebastian, oh he wants to die. Big up to Nora, how are you doing? Big up to Zane, how are you doing? Big up to Luigi, man, how you doing? I really need a quick briefing and review of the qualifiers. Luigi, you're on the right channel. You know that. O meillä sauna, viina ja kirves, oi Suomi on niin ihanaa. O meillä sauna, viina ja kirves, oi Suomi on niin ihanaa. Ah, man. Oh my God, this is actually jokes. This is jokes. Big up to Mateo as well. All right, people. So we're gonna begin with AFCON qualifiers, and then we'll end up with the Euros because there is still going Scotland and Georgia because it was interrupted because they were playing in a swimming pool in Glasgow, and we'll get to that first goal because that was how that game was allowed to be played in Glasgow is beyond me. And shout out to Doug. Obviously, you guys know Doug out Football Channel. He's at the game. But quickly, we'll go through the AFCON because some teams now booked a spot to next year's AFCON in the Côte d'Ivoire. Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau have qualified after Nigeria almost bottled it again against Sierra Leone and decided, yeah, we'll go 2-0 up. We'll go 2-2, and then we'll win it in the last minute with Iheanacho goal. But Sierra Leone could have won this game earlier. They had a chance in the 91st minute. I think they had another chance in the 93rd minute. So Nigeria are lucky and still do not look good. Okay, on paper, they got Victor Osimhen, Iheanacho, Iwobi, and all of these guys, Chukwueze, they have a bunch of great bowlers. But Nigeria are managed by an absolute bozo. I'm sorry, Jose Pizarro is a bozo. There's a reason why he got sacked as Venezuela manager. Because he ain't good enough. So, if you're the Super Eagles, I mean, at least you won the game, but it ain't looking the greatest heading into the AFCON. Defensively, this team is not good enough. Okay, attacking-wise, they could probably score against anybody. But in the AFCON, you gotta have a good defense, and Nigeria do not have that. And Guinea-Bissau also booked a spot to next year's AFCON because, Sierra Leone, they played very good football, Sierra Leone, but I think that draw at home to Sao Tome and Principe will be the difference in them not making to the AFCON, and it proved to be, and they're out. So congrats to Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau as they qualify to next year's AFCON. And also Cape Verde, they booked their spot as they beat Burkina Faso 3-1. I think Bertrand Traore got a goal for Burkina Faso, then 2 late goals for Cape Verde in the second half. And I think it was kind of predictable with this group that these teams were going to qualify. They've been in the last couple of AFCONs for a lot of the additions. And Togo and Eswatini, they're not ready to compete with Cape Verde or Burkina Faso. So congrats to both teams. They have qualified and have booked a spot to the Ivory Coast. Now, this is the madness of a group. Now, I was having a discussion with somebody on Twitter. Now, remember people to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Look at this group. Namibia have played all their games. They're on 5 points. They're pretty much, barring, I think somebody said, a 3-3 draw, Namibia are into the AFCON. Now, this is where it gets wild. It is Cameroon hosting Burundi in the next game. Somebody told me that if it is a draw, that Burundi will go ahead of Cameroon because of the head-to-head between all three teams, because they'll be all equal on points. Now, if that is the case, and Cameroon miss the AFCON next year, Samuel Eto'o has a lot of questions to be answered. A lot of questions. Burundi were fantastic. They were up 3-0 and almost bottled it to Namibia. Was it today or yesterday, the game? But however, Cameroon have a massive game. I'm expecting them to win the game in September against Burundi. If somehow they lose, it's not going to be pretty. It is not going to be pretty. But shout out to Burundi. They make this group so much more fascinating and got a big win over Namibia and their first win in the qualifier. So this group is it's so fascinating. So fascinating. Group D is all done as Egypt and Guinea now qualified. Egypt obviously got an easy win over Guinea, even though it was tough. They went 1-0 down, but Trezeguet, man, what a goal by Trezeguet. And, Malawi and Ethiopia, they drew, so that confirmed the spot for Egypt and Guinea. And you gotta watch out for Guinea. You have to watch out for Guinea because they are a good team with individual quality. And Egypt, if Egypt didn't qualify, that would be an absolute disaster. So even though they didn't look good for the first two games, I think they had 1 point after they lost to Ethiopia 2-0 away from home in the second game. I was like, oh man, it don't look good for Egypt. Well, they've come now with 4 straight wins, and yeah, they'll be off to another AFCON and hopefully trying to win it the first time for Salah. Now, Group E is also fascinating because Ghana did not put in a good performance away in Madagascar. So they are on 9 points and they're hosting Central African Republic. Now, the Central African Republic had one job and one job only, and that was to beat Angola at home, and they would have qualified to the AFCON for the first time ever. However, they lost. Their goalkeeper did a madness. If we gave like a bozo moment of the week, it's the Central African Republic goalkeeper. Don't know what he's doing there to try and head the ball or clear it away. He doesn't even get near it. Gets the red card, straight red, and then Angola score because the backup goalkeeper he tried to come for the ball and completely misjudged it. So Angola pick up a vital win. They're hosting Madagascar at home in the final game. It's perfect for Angola. And Ghana, all they just need to do is get a point. And I'm telling you, Central African Republic had the opportunity. They had it. Even Kondogbia scored. You guys know Kondogbia from Atletico Madrid? He scored. So it sucks for them, but now that final match day gets interesting. But I'm expecting, if Ghana have been good at home in the last couple of years, I expect them to make it through. So I wouldn't worry if you're a Ghanaian, to be honest. Now, this is also still up for grabs, Tanzania and Uganda. Now, both teams are equal. Now, it's probably going to go down to goal difference. Tanzania go away to Algeria. All they would need is a point, and Uganda are going to host Niger. So it's tough for Uganda. They'll probably win their home game, and Tanzania will lose. It's just a matter of the goal difference then, because both of them did beat each other 1-0. I would go with possibly Tanzania to make it through, just barely, but it depends on how much Algeria are going to put into that game. They'll probably field a very good squad and that have some purpose to the match. So it's about Tanzania. Just don't get heavily defeated, and maybe Uganda can sneak in. They can sneak in. So that's what makes this group then fascinating. Now, Group G is also where Gambia are pretty much in the AFCON. All they need is a point, and they are fine because they don't have the head-to-head record against Congo. So if you're Gambia, just get the point at home. They got a great... that was probably the game of the week, maybe, because Gambia and South Sudan played a game where Gambia were 2-1 up. Then South Sudan equalized in the 92nd minute, and then Gambia cut the last kick of the game. Literally the last kick of the game. South Sudan couldn't clear their lines. Gambia get the winner, and they needed that badly because now they have a 3-point edge. All they just need is a point, and they're good. And I would expect it when they're, especially at home. Let's see what happens. But Mali are, of course, through to the AFCON. Now Zambia are back. Somebody let me know in the chat. When was the last time Zambia were in the AFCON? It's been a while. Is it 2013? 2015 was the last time Zambia were in the AFCON? And they just destroyed the upcoming host of the AFCON, Ivory Coast. They destroyed them 3-0. Serge Aurier probably had one of the I don't know even who you blame. Do you blame Serge Aurier or do you blame the goalkeeper? Because that was one of the craziest own goals you will see. And then they just destroyed them. And Ivory Coast, look, they probably don't have a lot of motivation because they know they're going to host it. They're already qualified. But Zambia look good. Avram Grant, we all know Avram Grant. They're a sneaky team. They're a sneaky team that we should watch out for at the AFCON next year that possibly could win it. You know, one of those dark horses that we always think about with AFCON. They could be that sneaky team to win it because we know how good of an attacking team they are. They have a good midfield with Banda. I would worry for Zambia. I would worry about Zambia if I was an opponent in that group stage, but they have qualified. So congrats to Zambia. Comoros and Lesotho, unfortunately not for them. This is probably the maddest group of all when it comes to just the implications on the final match day. Mauritania picked up a big win, 3-0 away at Sudan. And DR Congo somehow got a victory in Gabon. Just watch the highlights, people. How Gabon didn't win that game or score a goal. They had 2 open goals. I saw one chance where I think it crossed the line because there's no goal line technology. They couldn't do anything about it. And now Gabon have to go away to Mauritania, which they can win. They got some good players. We know Aubameyang and all these guys. And DR Congo are hosting Sudan. Any of these teams can qualify, and any of these teams can get relegated. Cannot qualify. What's going to happen on the final match day in Group I? That was a big win, I think, for both DR Congo and Mauritania, and especially away from home. That's a statement. That is a big statement. And now they go back home, and let's see what happens. But I think this group is going to be insane. Insane on the final match day in September. And then Equatorial Guinea and Tunisia, we kind of knew that they were already going to be through. All Equatorial Guinea needed was a win, and they got it against Tunisia at home. And Botswana got a victory. So they at least got a win. This group was pretty much done. And congrats to Equatorial Guinea and Tunisia. They're back at the AFCON once again. We already knew South Africa and Morocco qualified. South Africa beat Morocco at home. I don't know what the Moroccan goalkeeper, I can't remember his name. It's not Bono, guys. It was a different goalkeeper for them. He made a terrible mistake. Don't know what he's doing there. Morocco, they looked okay. Ziyech got a brilliant goal. And South Africa is also a dark horse to keep an eye on for the next year's AFCON because they have a young squad mixed in with some good players. Was it Munir? Thank you, guys. It was Munir. They got a good squad. So South Africa can be a sneaky team. I'd put them like in the bracket of Zambia where they might not have the big names on the team, but they work as a unit. So keep an eye on South Africa. Keep an eye on South Africa. And then the last group of the AFCON qualifiers, Senegal were already through. And Senegal at the moment are beating Brazil 3-2. Guys, is it over the game or let's see what happens. Mozambique and Benin will be playing against each other. Now, there was me and Football Pharaoh. You guys know about Football Pharaoh. He told me that Mozambique qualified. But I remember looking that Mozambique, they didn't get the win. Or was it Rwanda had to forfeit the win against Benin? And you guys can see there. CAF awarded Benin a win over Rwanda as these latest were penalized for fielding an ineligible player. And so now it just comes down to, in September, Mozambique need a point against Benin. And that's it. And Mozambique, it's going to be tough. They didn't play the best, I thought, against Rwanda, but they got just 2 goals, and that's enough. That's enough. So let's see what happens. Yes, it was politics, and it was the same thing for Zimbabwe and Kenya. And I think Zimbabwe are not allowed to compete in the World Cup qualifiers for 2026. I believe so. But Kenya and Zimbabwe were not allowed to compete in the qualifiers for AFCON this time around because of politics. Politics got involved with the federation or something like that. I think it was something like that. And Benin got gifted a win. Benin is lucky. Hey, they'll take anything they can get to keep alive in the AFCON. But that, we see a couple of teams now book their spots at next year's AFCON. But that final match day, Group I, is going to be insane. Mauritania, DR Congo, Gabon, and Sudan all have a chance. Just remember, people, just remember that group. Remember that group. All right, let's get to Europe, people. Let's get to Europe. But if you haven't done so already, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We got 24 likes. We got 31 people in the house. You guys are performing like Germany. Bunch of losers. Bunch of losers. Come on, people. Hit the like button. Big up to Kalisa says all these teams would have a great chance. Oh, man. How are you doing, Dayan? No, the game is back on, I believe. I'm going to actually put that game on my phone right now before I get. But that game was canceled. We're actually going to discuss it here, so just give me a second. Just give me a second on it. What did Samasi send me? Let me see what Samasi sent me first, because she's pissed off. She's pissed off with Germany. I don't blame her, because Germany right now are a disgrace. They're a disgrace. Oh, that was too funny, Sebastian. That was too funny. All right. What's up, everybody? Armenia would smoke Germany. I think Finland would smoke Germany at this moment. Let's keep it honest. Yeah, I had to stop because of the rain-soaked pitch, which is insane since Scotland got the first goal of the game, and then they said, okay, yeah, we're going to cancel it now. What on earth? Guys, you need to watch... You should have just watched the first 5 minutes. Why is that game being allowed to play? Why? The ball barely moved. It barely moved. Stupidity from UEFA and stupidity from the ref, whoever the ref is today for Scotland and Georgia. You go examine the pitch before the game even begins, and you look at that pitch and you say, yeah, we can play. Come on. Oh, it's Senegal 4-2. I'm telling you, Germany and Brazil, I have my eye on you people. I have my eye on you guys, because right now, it's fraudulent behavior. It's not. The days of where Germany and Brazil are the top dogs in international football, they're done. I'm sorry, they're done. Until they can prove to me something else in major tournaments, I don't know what to say. Big up to Tiny. How you doing, bro? Big up from Botswana. Hey, shout out. We got fans from Botswana. Shout out to you, bro. You guys got your first win of the AFCON Qualifiers, so that's at least good. And everyone would dunk on us. Maybe even the Vatican would beat Germany. All right, let's get to now Euro Qualifiers, because I don't want to be here for too long. Just keep me updated on the Scotland-Georgia game, people. So Scotland did a madness, and after winning their first 2 games, they didn't play the greatest game. They played a very good defensive game away in Oslo. But the last 2 goals, first, I don't know what Østegård is doing for Norway. We did a watch on for the game, so I'm not going to go too much into detail, but Østegård and the Norwegian defense all just said, we're going to have an off day. And they allowed Lyndon Dykes to get the goal. Not even 1 minute later, Norway have pushed all their bodies forward. At least get the point. It's not bad. You get 1 point. But they pushed everybody forward. They left themselves exposed at the back. Then Scotland scored a brilliant goal. McTominay to John McGinn to Lyndon Dykes to McGlynn. Unbelievable. And Scotland now have 3 wins out of 3 and currently are 1-0 up over Georgia. If Scotland win today and go 4-4, they're pretty much in the Euros. They're pretty much in the Euros because Norway have 4 points, Georgia have 4 points, and Spain, I think Spain they will qualify. If Spain don't qualify out of this group, oh boy. So that was a big win for Scotland. Norway, they beat Cyprus today 3-1. Holland got 2 goals, I believe. At least they got a victory. I didn't see the goals, so I can't really give you detail about it. But it's going to be tough for Norway. In September, they first have, let me see here. Their only game is against Georgia. They have to win that game, Norway. If Norway want to qualify for the Euros, they have to beat Georgia. There is no questions about it. If they do, the campaign is back on. If they don't, I'll start getting worried for Norway. And then, we're going to have to see what happens tonight between Scotland and Georgia at least. At least the good thing for Georgia is they got the Nations League playoff route, even if they don't qualify. So go on to Group B France have got now 4 out of 4. They didn't have the best game against Georgia. The pitch is still soaked. Really? Jesus Christ, UEFA. Bro, just cancel the game and play it tomorrow. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. So France are 4 for 4. They haven't conceded a goal yet. They beat Greece 1-0 and they beat Gibraltar 3-0 away in these two games. They're obviously, compared to the other teams in this group, France are just, they are so much more talented. But they didn't play the best, I thought, against Greece. Although Mbappe could have had a couple penalties and he was getting pissed off. Listen to this, guys. Lajos was refereeing the game. I thought Lajos was done. But this guy has a testimonial every day. Every weekend, it's Lajos' final game. Lajos' final game. What on earth is going? Get Lajos out of football immediately if you are any governing body. Don't hire this guy. He's washed. He's not a good referee. But France eventually got the win. Mbappe with the penalty. And Greece, they did beat Ireland 2-1, which was also a very good performance, I thought, from Greece. And Gus Poyet is doing a good job as manager. And then the Dutch, I mean, Ronald Koeman, I don't know what to say about him. He's terrible manager. And if they're not careful, the Dutch, especially with Greece in this group, they might have to go through the playoffs. And you don't want to do that if you're the Dutch. You do not want to do that. So let's see what happens. Ireland, they still got a chance, but it's going to be tough. They played obviously France already, but in September Ireland have home against the Dutch and then away to France. Okay, if they beat the Dutch, Irelanders still have a chance, and Greece can give a tough run to the Netherlands. They can give a tough run. We'll have to see what happens there. Let's move on, people. Let's move on. Remember to do so. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. Mods, do your job. There's a reason why I hire you as the mods. Frank de Boer to succeed Koeman. No, we're not going back to that terribleness of football from the Netherlands. Oh, man. If I ever see Frank de Boer manage another team in Europe, that club is getting relegated. So, Group C, England they've destroyed this group. Nothing new, really, when it comes to England and these sort of qualifiers. But I did tweet this out. I think England are one of the favorites. It's them and France for me right now that are two clear favorites for next summer's Euros. The only thing that will stop England from winning the European Championship is one, mentality, and two, Southgate. That's the only thing that will stop them. Otherwise, England are stacked. And Saka taking on a bigger role, honest, I rate Saka a lot. And the mentality he has shown after that horrific behavior of despicable people online racially abusing him after the Euros where he missed the penalty, but a bunch of idiots. It's just stupidity. He has really just said, I'm taking it to another level. And his performances, with Arsenal, it didn't go well in the last couple months like we know, but if he can perform like that for England at next year's Euros, England have a great chance of becoming European champions for the first time ever because they've never won this competition. And they have an unbelievable team. It's just going to be Southgate. They destroyed North Macedonia 7-0. North Macedonia, they bottled a 2-0 lead first to Ukraine, lost 3-2, and then you get spanked 7-0 away. Even Pandev is coming out. The greatest North Macedonian player of all time is coming out and ridiculing the federation and the manager. It's not looking great for a team that were at the last Euros, almost qualified to the World Cup, and now they're going to have to start from ground zero again and rebuild because they just look broken. And Ukraine got lucky that they played both North Macedonia and Malta and didn't look that convincing, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. And Italy, of course, played the Nations League. Mancini's got to pick a proper starting 11, by the way. That's what Mancini has to do. And they Malta are there to just get walloped. Sorry, Maltese people, but at least you made it competitive against Ukraine and you held them on for a long time. But maybe just that lack of quality. The lack of quality makes a difference. And Trent at CM is scary. Well, I'm not reading too much into it because one, it's Malta, and two, it's North Macedonia. Let's see how Trent does in the midfield role if Klopp continues with that next season for Liverpool. Here's another interesting group, people. First question. Is Robert Page going to get sacked as Wales national team manager? Let me know in the chat. Because Armenia, they ain't going down without a fight. They ain't going down out with a fight. First, that was their first victory in over a year away to Wales, and it wasn't just a gritty performance 1-0. They beat them 4-2. 4-2. And then they go at home, and okay, they beat Latvia 2-1. They had to get the victory. Armenia, they ain't going down without a fight. They're making this group more fascinating because, maybe people thought, okay, we got Turkey, we got Croatia, these two teams will qualify. Armenia, they said, we want to join the party and we want to make things interesting. They're doing it right now. They are doing it right now. And Wales, I think they're in a total rebuild and they gotta just start new. They're kind of going through the cycle like Ireland. After Ireland qualified to the Euros in 2016, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. It's now time for Wales to just, have a new start, have some new faces, have a new manager, and just go again after this Euro qualifiers and the next World Cup qualifiers. And the aim is to qualify for Euro 2028 because they have some good players. Brendan Johnson, Dan James, even though I don't rate him that much, but Harry Wilson, Nico Williams. It's just about, okay, you gotta have a fresh attitude. I think the players, they've been satisfied of qualifying to the Euros and the World Cup, but maybe they just need a new face and a new voice. Maybe that's the difference. And Turkey. I mean, if you guys follow me on Twitter, I said this Arda Güler is no TikTok or Twitter compilations player. He is the real deal. I've seen him play 3 times, 4 times this season for Fenerbahce. This kid he's unbelievable. And he doesn't really score a lot of goals. He's more of a creator. He kind of reminds me of Özil. Özil is a super talented player. But Arda Güler is unbelievable. And there's a reason why Benfica, Ajax, Dortmund, and all of these clubs around Europe want to sign this guy for 17.5 million because he's damn good. He scored a ridiculous goal for the second goal against Wales. Ridiculous. So Güler is a name to remember, people. I've told you about Kendry Pais. I'm telling you right now, keep following this Güler kid. You heard it here first. Right? When people talk about Güler for many months to come and many years to come, remember, Michael Talks Football told you it the first time because Turkey got a big win. Wales obviously got an early red card, and Turkey just kept on going and trying to get the goal. They just eventually couldn't break them down, but they just needed that individual quality. They had a couple of goals disallowed because of offside. I think they missed a penalty if I remember correctly. This group gets interesting. Obviously, Croatia didn't play, so we'll have to see how those go because they drew with Wales at home, which was shocking to me. When's the next game? Oh, the next game is Turkey-Armenia. The less said, the better, because we know how that game is going to go when it comes to intensity. Now, big up Andreas. How you doing, bro? Hopefully you're doing well, man. Hopefully you're doing well, and hopefully your country is doing well, bro. Hopefully all is well. Big up to York says, Wales will be back in 2 or 3 years. They have a decent under-21 team to compete and replace the old guard. 100%. Okay. Now, I don't know where to begin. Actually, have they updated? So Albania should be on 6 points right now because they beat Faroe Islands 2-1. Shout out to Aslanis. Great goal. The second goal he scored with his left foot. Moldova just beat Poland. And they didn't just beat them. They came back from 2-0 down and won 3-2. Let me repeat that. Moldova were 2-0 down to Poland. Actually, when were the goals scored? Give me a second, people. I need to recheck. Because they were all in the second half. So they scored in the 48th, the 79th, and the 85th minute. And Moldova have just... Yeah, actually, good idea, Sebastian. Let me update it. There we go. Boom. Thank you, Sebastian, for doing it. Moldova have just pulled off an absolute. This might be the most ridiculous result. This might be the most ridiculous result. Remember, I told you people about the striker from the Israeli league, the oh my god, I can't remember his name, Nicolaescu. Because I remember seeing it, I was like, what's a Moldovan striker doing in the Israeli league? But he was like one of the top goal scorers this season. He scored 2 goals against Wojciech Szczesny. He gets subbed off, and I believe his sub didn't score the goal. I'm lost for words. I'm actually lost for words. I'm actually lost for words. Moldova have just pulled off arguably their greatest result ever. And do people know who the manager of Poland is? Do I need to remind people? It is Fernando Santos. He's been in the job for less than 5 months, and he's already probably going to get sacked. Because he's taken an embarrassing defeat to Czech Republic where they were 2-0 down in the first 10 minutes, and then lose to Moldova away when you're 2-0 up? With the squad you have? He's going to get sacked. And that is the problem. The Polish FA didn't want to go for maybe a younger, brighter manager who can have better ideas. No, they go for the old, worn out. It's like when you go to like a supermarket and you see there's like a meal deal. You get it and you're like, oh, it's cheap. Maybe it tastes good. And then it just tastes like shit. It just tastes like salt and nothing else. Your stomach feels bad and you'll be on the toilet for an hour because maybe food poisoning. That's Fernando Santos right now. Why are you hiring this manager for Poland? Makes no sense. But shout out to the Moldovans. And we got a Moldovan in the house. Where is he? Moldovan football. Shout out to you. I mean, this is your greatest result ever. Greatest result ever. Unbelievable. And they've made this group fascinating. Like, that. This is insane. Albania, who I don't think have played the best throughout this group, have gotten results and are sitting second. And Poland, they got to either make a drastic change or just, they got to start picking up wins. I mean, they're hosting the Faroe Islands next, who are no pushovers. And I expect Poland to win that game, but this is looking bad for Poland. And obviously Czech Republic, I think they beat Faroe Islands 3-0 in their only game in this window. Oh boy, yeah, he's getting sacked in the morning. Big up to Zeno, says, my friend is an Albanian West Ham fan. Seems if they make it to the Euros. Man, he's going to have a good year then. He's going to have a good year. That's a good combination. Albanian and West Ham fan. He has seen at least his team make it to the Euros for the only time in their history. And he has seen West Ham lift a European trophy ahead of Arsenal. That's pretty good. Swedes, look away. If you're a Swede, look away, because it's time to get real. And I'm not just saying this as a Finnish person. You know, obviously, it's more of like a friendly beef between Finland and Sweden. But I'll say this right now. Sweden are absolutely dog shit and average. They're average. Janda Andersson needs to get sacked right now. Their midfield was horrendous today. Isak and Kulusevski were non-existent today. And Olsen, who we know is a terrible goalkeeper from Aston Villa, Sweden should have lost 5-1, 6-1 today. He made 3 remarkable saves. So if you are the Swedish FA, and I know some people have said, oh, he's not going to get sacked, he won't resign. If you don't, Sweden ain't making it to the Euros. They're already 4 points behind Belgium. They still got to go away to Belgium. They still got to host Austria in the next September break. If you're Sweden, you got to pull the plug now. Sack him now. Get a new manager, because you guys are, bad. You have a good squad, but you're bad. You're bad. And Austria looked good under Ralf Rangnick. Got to give him credit, you know. We know Ralf Rangnick, maybe in club football manager, isn't the best. Maybe if you give him a little bit more time, he knows what he wants to do. You know, he was thrust into a pretty chaotic situation at Manchester United. People were telling me rag ball, and then it was just raw ball. It just didn't work out. But Austria are looking good. They got some new fresh faces. I like it. I like the look of Austria. They could be a decent team at the next Euros. Maybe quarterfinal, sneaky quarterfinal run. Who says no? And then Belgium are just the PSG of international football. I don't know if people saw what happened with Courtois. Actually, let me bring it up. Let me try and bring it up for you people. Oh man, I got all the notifications. See, this is why I talk about international football and people love it. All right, let me get this up for you. Where is it? Okay, here we go. I'll show it to you here right here. Belgium are the international football version of PSG. So here is first off Thibaut Courtois. Thibaut Courtois failed to report for international duty with Belgium after Romelu Lukaku was named captain ahead of him for the draw with Austria. Now, what Courtois is saying, he was injured and he had to go back home. Now, that's a bunch of BS. I can guarantee you this. He probably was just sad that Lukaku got the captaincy. Shout out to Lukaku, got 2 goals today. Captain, fantastic Lukaku. No, Andrios, he's a little bit still the other name for him because the Croatia game at the World Cup still kind of signifies it. Yes, he's salty. He's basically salty that he wasn't captain of Belgium and he just threw a tantrum and said, I'm done. I'm done. Belgium are just, it doesn't matter what manager. It can be Tedesco, it can be Martinez, it can be Mourinho, it can be Klopp. These players rule the federation and are just a PSG version of international football. And there's a reason why this golden generation of Belgium never won anything. Because they don't have the right attitude playing for their national team. There's a difference when you play for your club team because you kind of listen to the manager. International football, the players have to perform well. And if you don't have a good continuity and good cohesion within the team, it's off. And yeah, okay, Belgium won today 3-0 and they drew with Austria 1-1. But what does the future hold for Tedesco and Courtois? Is it a miscommunication or what's going to happen here? But this is a great position now for Austria and Belgium. Belgium can even make it... If Austria beats Sweden in September, it's over. Those 2 countries will qualify. In Sweden, yeah, you got to get your shit together. You got to just sack Jan Andersen now, or it's going to get worse. I said when Sweden lost 4-1 to Serbia, I said sack him. They didn't, and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Let's move on, people. Group G. We got Hungary, Serbia, Montenegro, Bulgaria, and Lithuania. So, obviously, Hungary, they look good, man. I mean, Marco Rossi, the job he has done since being manager of the national team is simply sensational. And Hungary look like a team where they could even make it to a quarterfinals of the next Euros. You know, they did perform well at the last Euros into the group of death with Portugal, France, and Germany. But they could even do better. And with how they're doing in the FIFA rankings, they could even be a pot 3, maybe a pot 2 team. And they beat Bulgaria 3-0. Obviously, they drew away with Montenegro 0-0, but it's always going to be tough. And then Serbia didn't look so convincing against Bulgaria. Needed a late goal. Obviously, there's no Vlahovic, but it's got to be better from Serbia. Look, Montenegro are still within a shot of qualifying. Bulgaria, I don't know how you draw away with Lithuania when Lithuania had a red card in the 30th or 40th minute. If memory serves me right, correct me if I'm wrong, people. But this group is not over. I thought it would have been a little bit more of a touching distance with Hungary and Serbia. They would have already had 9 points. But they play against each other 7th of September. That is going to be a fun game to watch. That is going to be a fun game to watch. Because both teams are very good and quite underrated. Maybe not Serbia because, you know, they just disappointed at home. I mean, disappointing the World Cup. Disappointing. Let's get to Group H. We only got 3 more groups, people. If you haven't done so already, we got 50 people in the house. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We got 36 likes. You're performing like the German national team right now. Sorry to the Germans in the chat. I'm sorry, guys. Like, you guys are bad. 1 win since the World Cup. 1 win. You even got Luis Diaz doing the gritty. God. You have Luis Diaz doing the gritty on you. Oh, this is how bad Germany have fallen. This, I get it. It's not. I get its motivation in the friendlies, but herra jestas, Germany are bad. They're so bad. They're so bad. Well, who would have thought of this, people, with Group H? Finland are first, or Suomion. Kazakhstan are second. Denmark are third. Slovenia are fourth. And then Northern Ireland and wonderful San Marino. By the way, guys, watching the game, San Marino, they are so... I mean, we all love San Marino because they are the worst team in the world, but, I mean, they take it to another level. They were good for like the first half, but I just think that with San Marino, they don't have the conditioning because all of their players basically just fell off a cliff after the 60th minute, and they couldn't run anymore. But let's talk about this group because the first four places are separated by 2 points. Now, Slovenia, I kind of feel like watching the game at the stadium between Finland and Slovenia. I think Slovenia played an alright game. Defensively, they weren't good, but they kind of got a little bit unlucky in certain occasions. Maybe it wasn't the best performance from Seško, but at home, they did play pretty well against Denmark and even could have won the game. Now, when it comes to Denmark, it's either the manager Kasper Hjulmand, who I rate highly, man. He was doing a fantastic job from the Euros to heading into the World Cup. But I wonder if that World Cup debacle, horrendous show by Denmark, has really affected this team because they don't look the same. They looked good against Finland, but since then, narrowly beating Northern Ireland at home, not playing well. Then they go away to Slovenia. They don't play well. I don't know if this 5-in-the-back formation is really working out anymore. Having Eriksen and Højbjerg as the two CDM players, two center mids. I don't think it works anymore. I think he either has to change his formation because the players, I think, are kind of tired of that. And they need different personnel. But Denmark don't look good. And if I'm the other teams in this group, I'm talking about Finland, Kazakhstan, and Slovenia, who have the opportunity to qualify directly, you got to take the opportunity while it's still there. Because, okay, maybe Denmark, September might not look still good, but then in October, November, they could pick up form. So if you're Slovenia, you got to win your first 2 games in September. If you're Kazakhstan and Finland, you got to try and win your 2 games in September. Now, when it comes to Kazakhstan, I made a video last night. You guys can see the shorts. This team they're unbelievable right now. They're unbelievable. They've picked up 3 straight wins in Euro qualifiers. I don't think that's ever happened in their footballing history. They have beaten Denmark. They went away to Northern Ireland, and their goal was it was Maradona-esque. Literally took the ball out, took the ball from his own half, dribbled past one, then beat 2 men with a wonderful move, round the goalkeeper and in, and Kazakhstan have done it again. And it was difficult for them because obviously they had to make the long journey from Kazakhstan to San Marino and then San Marino to Northern Ireland. But wow, that game now in September between Kazakhstan and Finland is a 6-pointer for both teams. Now, Kazakhstan still have the option of they still have the playoff option because they did so well in the Nations League and got promoted to League B. But that game in September, oh man. No, I didn't say Finland. I think Kazakhstan have a better chance to qualify than Finland, by the way. Yeah, I don't think Norway can really Northern Ireland can't catch a break. That game in September, I'm going to be so nervous. Even though, Finland have beaten Kazakhstan, I think, in the last 4 or 5 matches. I'll be honest, I'm afraid to go away there. There ain't no pushovers anymore. These guys are to be taken serious. Like I said in my video last night, they are a very organized team. And this guy is Bentov, the striker, bro. He scored the winner against Denmark and he scored the winner against Northern Ireland. This guy's a goal scoring machine, and it's not just tap ins or anything. Scoring golazos. He's scoring golazos. And look, Finland picked up a big win. Look, San Marino. I mean, if we didn't beat them, I don't think I would ever go watch a game again if I'm going to be honest with you. I think that Slovenia game kind of gave me more hope because I was very nervous heading into the stadium. But we still have good defensive team. We didn't even have our best midfield, but yet we still got the victory. And it just shows that we got a winning mentality within this footballing nation now. And the buzz with this national team is very good here in Finland. Can't say, man, like 6-7 years ago, I was going to games with the Finland national team. There was barely anybody there. Now the games are sold out. Yeah, it's probably the weather because it's finally good weather here around Europe. But good time to be a Finnish fan. Now, if Finland pick up 2 wins in September, I think we got 1 foot in Germany. I'll say that right now. If Finland win both games in September, which is Kazakhstan away and Denmark at home, I think we got a foot in Germany. Because our last 4 games, we got 2 of them at home against Kazakhstan and Northern Ireland, and we go away to San Marino. So I would expect 3 wins from there. If we get those 2 goals, I will feel good. I will feel good. But September is a make or break time for this group. This group could be totally different after September, or maybe Denmark are not that guys anymore. Who knows? But they got the quality, Denmark. I think they just got to find a different formation and different tactics. Let's move on to the next group. That's true, but how likely is that? It's not very likely, Radical. That's why I just said if Finland win both games. We'll see what happens. Michael, we are finished. Oh, Germany. Oh, man. Hans, man, you guys are not that good. Oy, 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 oy. Yep, we have 2 games at home against Finland and Northern Ireland. You're Kazakh, right? Yeah. Yeah, look, if Kazakhstan beat Finland at home, bro, Kazakhstan might qualify directly. That's the crazy thing about this group, that both teams have a really good opportunity. Now let's get to Group I. So we got Switzerland, top of the group, but they bottled a 2-0 lead at home against Romania. Great. I did not think Romania had this in their locker, but hey, shout out to the Romanians. They came back. They got the draw. I cannot remember the player's name. He came on as a sub and scored the 2 goals. I cannot remember the name. Got the 2 goals. And that was a big point for Romania because it's not that they did it at home, but they did it away in Switzerland and did it. And Romania, look, they're second right now. I don't think they haven't played Andorra. They played Andorra away, but they still got a host. They've actually played already 3 away games. So this is actually looking quite good for Romania. They got 4 games at home, and they still got to play Switzerland, which is going to be the last game, I believe. And they still play Kosovo, Andorra, and Israel. It's looking good for Romania. Now, Israel, okay, they went away. I think it was in Slovakia, the game, the Belarus game. Wasn't the greatest performance. And then Andorra, like, they were 1-1 and then they win 2-1. It wasn't the best from the Israelis, and they got to do a lot better. With the team they got, they should be beating Andorra 4-0, 5-0. In all honesty, it just has not been good enough. It hasn't been good enough. Shout out to AD, obviously. Our sports director, Yossi Benayoun, obviously a Liverpool legend. I'll call him a Liverpool legend. Simply does not call the best players to our team. It is not possible to succeed like that. That's not good then. That's not good. If Yossi Benayoun is not calling up the best... Like, where's Zahavi? Is Zahavi not fit? Or does he have beef with Yossi Benayoun? Or is he just retired? Let me know. Now, Belarus, somehow, they beat Kosovo. Now, Kosovo... these guys might be the biggest underachievers so far. They're probably the biggest underachievers. They go away to Belarus and lose 2-1. And I called out these guys in March and I said, what are you doing drawing with home to Andorra? I was expecting a lot better from Kosovo. They have good young players coming in. It seemed like they had a positive attitude heading into the qualifiers. It's just terrible. It's just simply terrible from Kosovo. I think they're going to sack their manager. I just see a lot of that going on Twitter. It's tough times if you're Kosovoan, and it could have been maybe a brighter spot, but now it's over. Like, I think Romania have this. It's going to be between Romania and Israel. And I think they play against each other the first game in September. Look, if Israel win that game, they have a chance of qualifying. We'll see what happens. Yeah, look, Muriqi, he scored 15 goals for Mallorca this season. Now, yeah. Is this what's really going on? The heck, Yossi Benayoun?
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
This is bad. This is bad. So, hey, I thought this group would have been over by now, and I would have said Switzerland 4 for 4, looking good, but Romania have made this more interesting than it looks. More interesting than it looks. And we're on to the final group, people. Final group. Liechtenstein, yeah. I think Liechtenstein, Gibraltar, and San Marino, those are the three worst teams. Andorra are competitive. We see what Moldova are doing. I think it's now between Liechtenstein, San Marino, and Gibraltar for the worst team in Europe. Iceland, yeah, they're going down, 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 and more down. I mean, 7 of their 8 goals came in one game against Liechtenstein, so there you go. Bosnia and Herzegovina. My guys, we've had many battles between Bosnia and Finland in football. They just lost to Luxembourg at home in probably the most embarrassing way. It wasn't that, okay, Luxembourg defended for their lives and counterattacked okay at times. It was all down to individual mistakes. I mean, what the goalkeeper is doing on the second goal is horrendous. And I think a lot of Bosnians were positive we could finally qualify to the Euros, because they've only been in one major tournament, which was the World Cup in 2014. And everything was looking positive for Bosnia. You know? They win their first home game against Iceland 3-0, convincing victory. Then they go lose to Slovakia away 2-0. Then they lose to Portugal. Then they go back home. You have Luxembourg. Now, what did I tell you people back in March and preview and predictions for this Euro qualifiers? I said, keep an eye on Luxembourg. These guys, okay, they lost 6-0 at home to Portugal. These aren't minnows anymore. They're punching above their weight. They won 2-0. They won 2-0. That is that Luxembourg's greatest result? I know they've beaten Ireland away from home, but this is Bosnia. Bosnia ain't an easy place to go and win away from home. And I think they got a draw. Did they get the draw away with Slovakia in this international break? I think they did. Bro, what? Luxembourg, just keep an eye. They could be a sneaky team. If Luxembourg make it to the Euros next summer, I think everybody has to buy a Luxembourg kit. I'm definitely buying one. Are you kidding me? If Luxembourg make it to the Euros next summer, that will be one of the most sensational stories we have seen in international football, because they don't have a big population. I think something crazy, like 5 or 10% of their population is Portuguese or like Portuguese background. It's crazy, and they're doing much better in football over and over again, and then they're exceeding the odds. Yeah, okay, their goal difference isn't great because of the loss at home to Portugal, but if they can beat, they got still 3 home games. They got Slovakia and Bosnia still to come at home. If they beat those 2 teams at home, Luxembourg might make it. Luxembourg might make it. Now, Slovakia, they got a crucial victory away, which also wasn't convincing over Liechtenstein, only 1-0. So Slovakia, okay, you got the victory, but you got to perform a little bit better. But the main thing is, I think for Slovakia, they haven't lost a game yet. They got their first game against Portugal in September. If they can get a draw, Luxembourg are looking good for going to back-to-back Euros. Actually, no, their third straight Euros will be a great achievement. And then I see a lot of people. I think it's time to drop it, people. We haven't heard it for a while. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Guess who's back? Back again. Ron is back. Tell your friends. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Da 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 da. First off, shout out to Speed. He met Cristiano Ronaldo. Nah, those are like one of those moments where you always dream of like meeting a guy who you kind of idolize and you really just love. He actually just broke down in tears. Like, shout out to him. And good on Leao to stop the car and tell Ronaldo, hey, come and meet this guy. He's a pretty incredible fan of yours. And Speed, I mean, he lost it. And even Ronaldo was like, what the heck is going on here? This guy's wild. But Portugal, they beat Bosnia at home. It wasn't, I would say, the most amazing of performances. And it looks like Roberto Martinez is going with this 5-3-2 formation, and he's basically going to play Ronaldo every game. So we're going to see Ronaldo at the next Euros, people. Guarantee. It's just a matter of who you're going to play next to him. Is it going to be Leao? Is it going to be João Felix? Because I think he's going to go with the wing backs. Look, Portugal have everything to win the next Euros. I think it just comes down to how Martinez approaches the game. I don't think you can really be defensive with this team. And I don't think the back five really works. But if you're trying to fit in the likes of Cancelo, Bernardo Silva, and all these guys, I would feel like a 4-2-3-1 would be better. But it looks like Roberto's going with this 5-3-2. It hopefully works out for you Portuguese people. But look, they've scored 14 goals and conceded none. At least defensively, they're looking good. But their group is not that tough. It's not that tough. So we'll have to see. No, I know it is, Matt, but guarantee you this. When it comes to the pressure moments, Martinez will cave in and it will turn into a back five. Of course, in the qualifiers, they're going to dominate possession and the wingbacks create the width. So it's going to be a back three. But when I'm talking about the pressure moments in the European Championship, it will be a back five. So let's see what happens here. And transform Portugal. Santos was the clear problem. Poland sacked him. Wait, Poland sacked him? Is he sacked? Or are you just saying that they should sack him? Let me know what's going on here. Let me know what's going to go on here. Yeah, Bukayo Saka is going to make England win Euros. Hey, man, he is looking good. He's looking good, guys. So, everybody, that's the review of the Euros and AFCON qualifiers. I mean, Europe had a madness. AFCON had a madness. And USA won the Nations League. And Mexico are in the mud. There's a lot of countries that are in the mud right now. Netherlands, Germany, Mexico. Anybody else? Maybe Brazil. International football. Maybe there's a turn of who the top dogs are. And the former top dogs are fading away even more. Denmark as well, Bosnia, Poland, Sweden, Brazil. See, there's a lot of teams that are going bad right now. They're going bad and they're going backwards, and it ain't going to get any better right now. But everybody, it's time to head out. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. If you have any further thoughts, let me know in the comments down below. Shout out to the members. Members, we're going to have a live stream on Thursday. So shout out to all the members. We're going to have a live stream on Thursday. Tomorrow I have a game, so I cannot live stream. Just keep up to date with everything going on the channel. Remember to hit the notification bell, subscribe if you're new, and just hit the like button for the stream. Let's hit it to 40 likes before I head out. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. And congrats to Moldova, Luxembourg, and all these minnow countries that are defying the odds and making international football great. Because international football is fantastic. Adios, everybody.